we have some Kickstarters for you.
We do.
And we're going to start with yours, which has a weird name. Secret Unknown Stuff, Escape from Dolce?
Yeah, the name is definitely out there, but the game reminds me a lot of the title, like Escape or things like that. Mm-hmm. But the way it works is you're experiments or something. I don't know. Sometimes you're experiments, sometimes you're just people. Like in a secret like Area 51 kind of base, and you're trying to escape. There are 7 levels. And actually, if you can see the picture behind me, it actually is a 3D board, so you actually jump from level to level. Mm-hmm. And the way the game works, it's cooperative. You're all working together to escape, and these each has different characters, different abilities, and some of them are hilarious. Like one's a 2-headed cow with a laser gun.
Okay.
And there's equipment you can get, and there's different kinds of enemies you have to fight. But depending on what you do, you can raise the alarm level. And the higher the alarm level, the worse things that will appear, including, I think the very end is like called the Black Man. It's sort of like a Slender Man, Men in Black kind of.
Okay.
But the way you can like mitigate that by lowering the alarm level. So I had this cool sort of back and forth of like, the faster you have a timer and you have to be careful of it because of the alarm, and had the fun little level and the cool little miniatures and a fun little upgrade system. And some of the upgrades are actually specific to characters. Like one character you can play as is literally a family of 4 that like half is like 50s family that have his tentacles, and there's this, like a special body armor that's just vests, like the like knitted vest, and only they can wear it.
All right. Well, are the upgrades in from one game only, or is there a progression like campaign system?
It sounds like campaign, like I think. No, not campaign. It's from one game only. I mean,
okay.
But I mean, like, it's not you start off with them. I mean, like, you can find them.
As you go, you get stuff.
And more like weirder weapons and stuff. So
Okay.
I thought it looked really fun and really cool.
Anything with a 3D board always catches my attention.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty neat, and I give them points for originality. That's for sure. It's Secret Unknown Stuff, Escape from Dolce. It goes for $80 on Kickstarter right now. Mm-hmm. My first one is one we did talk about this in the story when it was first announced that they were making games based off Wet Hot American Summer, and the first one, or maybe only one as far as I know, is up on Kickstarter now, and it is not a direction that I expected them to go in. It is a role-playing game. It's called Wet Hot American Summer Fantasy Camp, and basically, if you haven't seen the movie, there's a group of characters who are the nerds who play Dungeons and Dragons, and this is sort of a takeoff on that, but you are playing as the characters from the movie, or you can create your own. And you're going through your final day of camp, and it comes with some pre-made adventures that are based directly from the movie, but you could also go crazy and you could make it a space camp. You could have guides for drawing a map for whatever kind of camp that you want. And it's meant to be in the vein of the movie, less about math and numbers and much more of a party game, improvisational, role-playing, humor kind of a thing. Which I think it's pretty cool because I haven't, when I think of a licensed game coming out, especially for an older movie like this, we've recently seen like The Evil Dead and Terminator from Space Ghost and some other ones where, it's like standard, it's a board game. I rarely feel they go in the role-playing direction, which seems to me like this is more of a passion project than just trying to get some money from fans, and it actually makes sense in the tone of the movie as well. The only thing that I'm a little hesitant about with it is I'm worried that a lot of it is going to be direct references to the movies, and when you have that comparison of like Paul Rudd and Michael Ian Black and these really funny people saying these lines, and then it's just you and your buddies maybe repeating them and not as funny.
Are you saying that we can't match their comedic talent?
Potentially not. So maybe if you make up your own stuff, but then I also think every role-playing group thinks they're hilarious, whether they are or not.
Well, maybe you should come with a little soundboard, like app, so you can just press like the Paul Rudd app. Beep.
So that's the only, you might not want to watch other people play it and just be like, oh, he butchered that line or whatever, but it seems like a fun thing.
Jonathan has high standards when it comes to comedy.
When you're basing it off a great comedy movie, it's
so
tough.
When do you think we're going to get the 1v-all version of Caddyshack? Everyone versus the gopher.
Oh, no, it's the slobs versus the snobs. Come on. This is Fantasy Camp is up for $20, which is fairly reasonable. And
For a PDF or for...
I believe that's for a book. A book. I think $10 for the PDF.
RPGs, you always have to...
Yes.
They usually do a PDF version.
So check that out. And this next one looks like a weird image that may be not suitable for work. I don't know.
As far as I know, most of the game is.
All right.
Maybe like one or two characters that look risque, but other than that, it's not like... But Ever After, it's this sort of fairy tale game. There's these two sides, Dawn Guard and Eclipse, and they're pretty much fighting over the land, and you take the roles. But this is a hidden role game. The way it works is you play either like 4 or 6 people. You try to do even number of players. And you're going to get one card that's like your hidden role. It'll tell you a character, and usually has a secret goal as well as which team they're on.
Okay.
Then in addition to that, you're going to get to choose a sidekick. Your sidekick doesn't have to match yours. It's going to be like the remainders of your hidden role cards. And you get one of each. So that one's face up, the other one's face down. And you'll be doing tasks by placing flags, defeating quests to get items, to earn points. There's also a boss that may appear, and if you deal the minimum amount of damage once it dies, so it's not like backstabbing, Munchkin style, whoever gets that points. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the game, you're going to tally up all the points, and you could die, but you're still playing, but that's just a minus 15 at the end. But what's interesting is at the end of the game, it's not just whoever has the most points wins, it's whichever team has the most points wins. Which I like because that makes the deduction much more important because it's not just finding your enemies, but your allies. So like, let's say that you and I were on the same team.
Which would never happen.
No, we're always against each other. He's always the bad guy. And let's say you weren't doing that well. If I don't...
That would happen.
If I don't help you let you die and get that minus 15 points, that's actually hurting me more because that takes from our team's total score. So you actually want to try to feel out a lot more what your opponents have and whose side they're on.
Sort of reminds me of what was the Study in Emerald, where it had that weird mechanic where
yeah, that's exactly what I was reminding me of.
Yeah. That's it's always good to have another layer there, another layer.
So I think it's not just the simple deduction, but there's a lot more to it. And the way you actually deduct is because each character card that you can get that tells you your side also usually has like it's playful, serious, like hidden, female, male. Because they're all based on like fairy tales or fusions and stuff.
It looks like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, they're like almost fused. It's like Snow White and the Ice Queen and stuff. Like they change it a little bit more, but like they're actually gonna have an app so you can actually try to be like, okay, if it's a playful, it could be one of these. It's this. So I think it makes it a lot more interesting in terms of and I think each has 3 attributes, so there's a lot more to it instead of just show me if you're red or blue.
Okay, and those are those like you said they're randomized to an extent, so you could be the same character but have a different.
Oh no, like Pinocchio I know is one, except he's a giant like mech. He is always part of the one group. So if you know that, and let's say he's Sirius, son and male. If you see 2 of those, you're like, okay, he's a pretty likely candidate.
Okay, interesting.
So that it helps with that. But like, if let's say your Pinocchio is your secret character, you can choose someone from the Eclipse side as your assistant, and that doesn't guarantee which side you're on.
All right. Okay.
So I think it's a fun sort of point deduction game with the good twist in the hidden role. I think that makes it a lot of fun. It does come with just standees for each character, but you can buy miniatures of them. You don't have to do the whole set. You can do pick and choose, so just in case there's just that one you want because they look cool.
Right, for your whatever other fairy tale RPG game you're playing. So that's Ever After. Twisted Realm goes for $49 for the core set.
I should also mention, if this looks familiar, this is actually their second Kickstarter. They put it up first, and I think because they got a little excited, and they forgot to put some stuff in there, so they took it down so they can bring it back,
Yeah, it's always good. You got to give them some time to get it right.
Yeah.
As we said, $49. And finally, this one is not a game yet. I don't know if you saw this one, but it's called...
Whoa. I don't think we can show this. This seems a little racy.
No, it's fine. This episode is really skirting the edge of disaster. This is called The White Box, and it is basically a make-your-own game kit. It comes with a bunch
Take that, Kickstarter.
Exactly. It comes with a bunch of meeples, blank tokens, wooden cubes, all the kinds of things you think you might want for a basic game design thing. And it comes with a book with a bunch of essays on game design and how game design works, different approaches about randomness, marketing it even, stuff like that, from people who have experience. I know one of them is a professor at DigiPen, the gaming institute, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, like you said, do we really, in this era when it's so easy, there's already 500 Kickstarter games every day?
It's cool because it gives it more of a pieces, because I know like we actually gathered up some stuff on to mess around with some ideas we have. So just nice that there's a kit for it. But at the same time, I just can't wait to all these Kickstarters now. It's just like it's just the white box, but people say like it's their game.
Well, I think it's probably best used as a tool, not for your final components.
Well, no, I know that the better ones, but I just imagine some people,
Perhaps, but yeah, it seems like a really fun idea, and even if whether you're like an independent, just somebody who's just bored and or especially for kids, or maybe if you're a teacher and you want to help teach kids about the process of creating something, or even it could, I know a lot of times school projects are like make a board game about science or whatever it is. Having a resource like this would actually be really cool. Or even if you're a professional game designer, it's never hurts to have a box to just mess around with, to have a certain amount of pieces to keep your head inside of a space. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like a great idea. I'm surprised I hadn't seen something like that before. And it goes for $30. There's different tiers though for like extra things you can get and stuff like that. But it sounds cool, and the book sounds cool as well. If you enjoyed this video, it was just a snippet of our full-length podcast, which you can find on our YouTube channel every week. So please go ahead, like, and subscribe for more board game-related content coming at you in the future.
And don't forget to check out rollforcrit.com, where we actually sell a lot of the games we talked about, as well as post news and all our other videos. Until then, I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this is Roll for Crit.